Hey my friends, welcome back to AttractPassion. Today we'll be talking about the upcoming full moon coming up on February 5th in the zodiac sign of Leo. And for the introduction of this video, I want to give you a quick message as something I wrote today in the morning as a message that comes with today's video. And then we'll be talking about 5 things you must know when it comes to this present energy. How can we use this full moon's energy for the greatest possible transformation, manifestation, and anything we choose to create with what we feel on that deep heart level? As we all know, Leo is that heart sign, right? The sign of inspiration, the sign of inner fire, the awakening of what's calling us. So a beautiful energy is coming up, and because of the moon's energy is always influencing our emotional system, there's also a beautiful backup of Sun's Aquarius, right? Which are two opposite signs. If we look into the zodiac cycle, there's Aquarius and there's the Leo, and it means that we are looking kinda into the polarity of one important meaning. The Aquarius is, the wise one, the one that reminds us of the truth, the one that reminds us that everything is connected, and we always need to seek below the labels. We always need to go deeper into a greater understanding of life, into the greater understanding of what's happening. And because Sun is in Aquarius, Sun is often influencing our character, the mind, the source of what makes us us. The moon then in the zodiac sign of Leo can remind us of that heart inspiration, right? What is calling us, what we are ignoring about ourselves, what's holding us back. And the whole February we're talking about that purification. We're talking about recognizing the blocks, the wounds, the shadows, so we can move through it. And that's where this full moon can become really, really powerful. And that's why I named this video as the moment of a great breakthrough. Because that's what's happening. A great breakthrough is happening for anyone who's doing the work, right? For anyone who's walking that path of great discovery, the discovery of the self. Like not seeking external guidance as much as you actually seek internal guidance. And that's where Leo's energy can awaken you to a greater realization of what you need to focus on. So what are 5 things that we can recognize with this full moon? Well, I will tell you everything, but before, I want to read something to you. Like, it is like a message, like an introduction message for this full moon. And it goes like that. You're the one that has been through a lot, but proudly shows wounds of the battles. The one that did wrong things but learned. The one that says yes to life and no to robbers of life. The one that has been beaten by wrongdoings, but used the right ones as stepping stones towards healing. The one that has been projected with insecurities, but found security in the fire of inspiration. The one that the world told you to quit, but you did what felt right. You had no path in front of you, so you paved one. You had no courage, so you gave birth to it. You knew the truth, but you forgot it, so you've learned it again. You are not the motivated one, so you move because you have to, because the sun is shining for you, and your responsibility is to feed the seeds of your deepest dreams like the sun feeds your skin. You conquered your demons by loving them so much that their sorrows transmuted into flowers of lovely thoughts. You did it. You are the brave one, and for that, I celebrate you. This is, to me, a beautiful introduction into this full moon, because maybe this message resonates with you, maybe it will in the future, but maybe you are in between the process of realizing that you are the one you've been searching for, right? Because often we hope somebody else will give us answers, but what we always find in others is maybe a finger point, maybe a glimpse of direction, but at the end we always recognize that for the whole time we knew what's right. And in the movie The Matrix, there's a short saying in between that says that the choice is an illusion because deep inside you already know what's right. And that's something that's important to know when it comes to this February and this upcoming full moon. So the first thing that I want to mention here is that you may experience, or it may reawaken or become a bit stronger, a calling you've ignored in the past. And what is that? Well, it's like a sense of awakening of an inner fire. An inner fire is that inspiring calling towards a certain necessary change, which means that maybe somewhere in our past we knew what we want to do with our lives, because we all knew at some point we kind of felt like this is what I need to do. Like sometimes we feel like we need to travel, or we feel like we need to start learning something that's important to us, or we need to start making art, or we need to start practicing certain sport. We need to, like, we feel that we need to do something. We don't know why, but we just feel that inner calling that we need to do it. But most people ignore that calling. And then they hope that they will get what that calling would bring them through other things. So they start buying stuff, they go into relationships, they hope that the relationship will bring them the happiness they are seeking for. And people never discover what they are actually searching for on that heart level until we get back to that inner calling, that thing that was calling us. And we discover it once again, and we dig deeper into it, like, what's going on here? Like, why I feel so inspired to do that? For me, it was, at the end of the year 2017 when I started drawing, and then in 2018 I started painting. I was never into art, but I just felt like I need to start doing that. And it brought me to where I am today. So, deep inside we all have that because it was planted into us. Yesterday I said that life planted into you seeds of talents. You are talented at something, and those talents are calling you through glimpses of inspiration. That's the inner fire. In alchemy, there's the saying is always repeating, the inner fire. And a person who goes through transformation, through phase of healing, dealing with darkness, will become aware of the inner fire. And that's the inspiration, the calling. When we say, I just felt called to do. So I just felt called to do that. And because February is that month of purification, we may purify our lives to such a degree that we recognize what was beneath all the chaos, right? And that's something beautiful. That's the purpose of purification. So that's something that's coming up right now. And this Leo's full moon's energy can help you to awaken that inner fire once again. So this is a beautiful moment. And it's a time for deep introspection to, not so much seeking and hoping that you find something, but rather pay attention to what's bothering you and remove those things, heal those things, go in deep conversations if you need to, and take care of your environment, something we've been talking a lot about. So you can discover more of what's beneath the chaos, what's beneath of those dark thoughts, negative thoughts, limiting beliefs, and stored emotions that are holding you back, because stored emotions are, it's a stuck energy. You know, if you imagine a river and you put certain blocks into the river, so you stop it, that's what happens with stored emotions. Why it happened? Because we move through something, we experience something, certain event happens, and we experience such an intense fear, and because we don't have the right knowledge, the right tools to cope with it, we suppress it, we hide it from others, so we would not be like weak ones, right? So we suppress it. But whatever we suppress, we don't let go of it. It stays hidden inside of us. But it starts bothering us more and more. Longer we are ignoring it, stronger it is, more it is bothering us. Until we go within and recognize what's that emotion that's holding me back. What's that fear that's saying to me that I can't do what I want to do? And we go into it and we recognize that it's not so bad. We recognize, well, we are all afraid of something. We are all ashamed of something. It's not shame, it's not fear, but what we do with that. You know, and to overcome fear means to do something you're afraid of with a great sense of fear, but you do it anyway. You say something you're ashamed of, but you say it anyway, and see what happens. You know, when you're, sometimes, I know for myself, I'm coming from a family where we were not expressing our emotions so much. We were not saying to each other, I love you, thank you, and things like that. We were not hugging. And to be honest, my biggest fear was to hug my mother and to say her that I love her. And at some point, I recognized that the only way that I can deal with my shame is that I start hugging my mother. And that's what happened. At some point we made a deal that every time we don't see each other for a longer time, we hug each other. And it's still a bit weird, but it helped me to overcome the shame. And we all have those are weird sensations, right? Those are weird things. How weird can it be that you're ashamed of hugging your own parents? How weird can it be, right? When I'm looking back, to me it's really weird, but that's what emotions can make us to avoid things that makes us human, and the only way to move through it and to heal those wounds is to do what we are the most afraid of doing, right? And that's something that this Leo's energy may inspire you to do. The second thing is that you may be drawn into tools that can help you to raise your self-confidence and productivity so you can start living more purposefully and intentionally. This is so powerful, right? And we've been talking about tools. And when it comes to self-confidence, well, self-confidence is such a big mystery in society, but it's so easy to build it up, right? Every single day we can use what we've been through, you know, what we've learned as stepping stones towards who we want to be. So to build a self-confidence, what Leo can remind us, if you imagine a lion, you see how lion is standing. Why lion is standing like that? Because it was trained by other lions who are standing like that, right? It was trained by other lions who are standing strong spine. They keep their heads up, right? That's Leo's energy. But then we wonder why we are like that, all sad, all miserable. Because nobody taught us how to stand strong, not how to ignore and suppress and fake that energy, but how to deal with everything and be strong and use what you've been through for your inner strength, right? How to give birth to courage. Nobody taught us that. That's why we are all miserable, feeling down. And in order to get back up, we need to learn, we need to teach ourselves that. And for that, we need to find the right tools, right? And that's what I love to share with all of you. because we all need the right tools. We're living in a society where we are lacking the basic knowledge that makes us human, right? How to connect with each other, how to be vulnerable, how to grow through pain, how to become resilient, how to be honest, right? How to nurture the creative flow of energy that's giving us life, how to be a channel of creative flow. We're all creative by nature, but most people say, well, I'm not creative, right? How to organize our minds, how to discipline ourselves so we can do what we say that we'll do, so we can make those deep dreams and heartfelt desires possible in the reality, so we can transform our thoughts into reality, right? It's not just some magic. We need to discipline our minds. We need to discipline our actions, and for that we need the right tools. So what are the right tools? Well, firstly, we need to declutter what's not serving us, and that's what we know. We need to declutter what's not helping us on that mission. We need to recognize what's holding us back and see what can we do about it. And we need to deal with the discomfort, right? We need to do that. There is no other way around it. There's no shortcuts. And Leo is reminding you, you got this. Leo has your back. This full moon has your back. And it's saying, oh, my friend, you got this. Okay, you got this. So the third thing you need to know when it comes to this full moon's energy is that you may become more aware of what kind of life experiences you're craving the most. And this one is huge. You may have heard it before, but this one is huge. What are you craving on that heart level? So what it means, I'm using this word heart level all the time because I'm not really interested in manifesting a certain way of living that may just look good, right? Certain amount of money and cars and things like that, because doesn't matter if you get it or not, at some point you recognize that however or whatever you manifest, if your heart is not pure, you will not feel okay about life. And I'm all about purifying my heart. So I love to talk about purifying our heart so we can recognize what's that heart's desire, that plant that was, a seed that was planted into you, that's slowly growing inside of you. As a little kid, you've been aware of that. You said, I want to be an astronaut. I want to be an artist. I want to do that. And those are the things that are not just, some made up stories. As little kids with creative minds, we've made that up. Those are stories that are coming from our higher intelligent self. Those are inspirations, glimpses of inspirations that are coming to us. Like, this is what you need to do. This is where you will feel the most fulfilled. Maybe you will not be an astronaut, but work on that craft, work on that art, build your talents, sharpen them up, and see where it will take you, and trust the process, and know that your minds, your thoughts matter. Know that whatever you focus on will grow, and whatever you nurture will create bigger results than you can ever imagine. And that's something really, really important. So become aware of what kind of life experiences you're craving the most and write it down. Write it down exactly and precisely what kind of life you want to live. But write it in a way like it's already present. It will give you a sense, like if it would already be real, how would you feel? How would it make you feel? Is that the right thing? Because that's how we kind of explore our subconscious mind. Like, is this coming from my heart, or was it more like a manipulated idea from my environment? So we start writing the thoughts down. That's what I did in 2018. I wrote my life down, like what kind of life I want to live, the precise details about how much money I want to make, what kind of relationships I want to have, what kind of emotions I want to overcome, how I want to feel, how I want to think, how I want to develop my talents, skills, what kind of things I want to learn, and so on. And so many of those things happened, even greater than I could ever imagine. But most of those things happened after I forgot that I ever written them down. Because sometimes I open those old books or blogs where I was writing it down, and it's always like you experience that sense of intense gratitude because it happened like exactly how you wrote it, or sometimes even better. So try it out. If you believe it or not, try it out. And the fourth thing I want to mention here for this Leo's full moon is that it's a great time to face your fears and have conversations about topics you are the most afraid of talking about. And this one is deep, especially on that relationship level. Maybe with your partner, with a friend. We all have certain topics that are a bit harder to discuss, right? We have certain aspects of us that we are a bit more ashamed of. And the truth is that those are the aspects that are controlling a lot of our behaviors. And those are the aspects that are making us feeling bad when it comes to certain topics or whatever it is. But like I said before, the only way to overcome that is to go into it and talk about it, right? So find a person with whom you can have this open, vulnerable conversations and talk about the scary topics, discuss that, and see where it will take you. And be compassionate about this, because those are, we may be so wounded that it may be a reason why we are so afraid of talking about it. So we need to be compassionate with ourselves. We need to develop that level of compassion. So it feels like even if we are talking about what we are afraid of and deep inside we are shaking, it feels like around us there's a strong hug that gives us a sense that it's okay, that your higher self would give you a hug of celebration, like I'm so proud of you. So say to yourself that you are proud of yourself for doing those things, because those are the things that most people are not doing. And when we look around, when we see in what kind of conditions our society is, here's the answer why it is like that. Because we're not dealing with our darkness, with our shadows. And the only way to heal this world is to heal ourselves. And that's how healing is happening. There's many different ways, like through meditation, through deep conversations, through journaling and writing, through hypnosis and through coaches and therapists. So you need to, set the intention to find the practice, to find the method, to find a way that resonates with you the most. But then you need to stay open-minded. So when synchronicities will find you, that you recognize them as synchronicities, not as like, oh, I don't want to do that, right? When the right book will find you, the right person will find you, go and dig into it. Recognize what's hiding there, right? And the last one, the fifth one, is that this is the perfect time. And that's Leo, my friends. Question your personal truth about life. There's always a next chapter in discovering the depths of yourself. And that's something that makes life an adventure, right? So question your personal truth about life. So what it means? We are living based by certain stories we've heard. And then maybe we read something, we hear something, somebody says something to us, and it may form a bit that truth, that what we believe to be true. But then when we start questioning, when we sit down and be quiet with ourselves, we may recognize that maybe what we believe to be true could be seen from another perspective. If I believe to be true for myself that for example, in the past, I had that belief, like my English is not good, so my videos can't reach many people. It was a belief for me in the past. But that belief motivated me and inspired me to teach myself to speak a better English, right? So you see, our personal truth has its purpose. It's not just a weird limitation. It's something that works for us until we decide to expand ourselves, right? So our personal truth has a powerful meaning. We've created it because that's what works for us. But at some point, it's not fulfilling to us anymore. So we need to expand ourselves. We need to discover more of the truth. And that's where we start slowly letting go of certain labels and beliefs and different ways of how we choose to perceive life. But it requires a deep introspection, a deep inner work that in February, it is a perfect time, right? Month of purification. So for many people, it will be a month of many breakthroughs because, sometimes we think that this shadow work and whatever, all that healing process, that it may take years, and it is taking years. But every single day we create a tiny progress that creates and initiates huge results in our reality. So even if we feel like we haven't made much, like we haven't done much, slowly our reality will start reflecting back to us those tiny little changes that will be experienced through certain synchronicities. And like interesting events will find you because that's how it works. And like so often I receive those kind of messages like, I'm doing that work and you can't believe so many things started clicking, like new job just found me out of nowhere, or I've manifested this business, or things like that. People are awakening to a greater level of understanding themselves, and that's where transformations are happening. So my friends, have a beautiful celebration of this sacred energy. This is the heart's energy, my friends, and that's something we need to nourish. We need to know it better. That's where self-love comes, right? With acceptance of what's awakening within us and acceptance of what is not serving us anymore. So with great level of compassion, we slowly let go of it. We forgive ourselves for what we've done, who we've been, and we become more of who we are meant to be. So my friends, this is it for today. I'm sending you lots of love, blessings, and power. I hope you've enjoyed in today's painting. Brave as a Lion is the name of this painting, deeply related to this message, because that bravery is already within you. That's what we've been born with. It's not that I'm not courageous, I'm not brave enough. It just means I haven't tapped into that aspect of me. And it's time for you to visualize yourself being brave. It's time for you to see yourself being brave. And it's time for you to feel yourself being brave. That's how you awaken it, right? You need to feel yourself. So say to yourself that I'm feeling myself. I'm feeling brave. And go on. Do what you know that you need to do. That's it, my friends. Till next time, one love.